Hello there, my friends. Welcome to Legacy Gaming Studio. Today we're going to be playing a little bit of Flight Simulator. For those of you who might hop into the stream and be like, wait a minute, it says Stardew Valley. No, I got to change it up here, rename it. We will be doing some Flight Simulator. And we will also be using our timer. So if anyone wants to see this live stream continue, then make sure that you hit that like button, subscribe, do a super chat, or do a channel membership. And that helps us see, it helps the algorithm see that you want to see more of this, and that's very, very helpful. So would definitely appreciate it if you would assist us in that by helping us build up what they all need. The system, the algorithm needs more interaction to send this out further. So let me get this programmed. Flight Simulator 2024. I forget what part we're doing. So we'll go ahead and say live. All right. Let's give you a little view of this beautiful game here as I finish a couple little things here. And then we'll talk about our timer and get this show on the road. But first off, good morning, afternoon. I hope you're having a good day. Looking forward to hanging out with you guys a little bit. Played a bit last night and had a good time. Some good things have been happening on my end, so we will be doing some traveling this weekend, and of course that means more videos that I'll be sharing with you guys from the trip. And it's going to be a spooky one. There's always some danger in traveling through snow-covered mountains and things, and I will be doing that coming up here in a few days. But we'll be sharing that on our Legacy Art Studio channel. So as we get things kicked off really quickly, let's talk a little bit about our timer. The timer here is how we keep the live stream going. If you want to keep it going, hitting that like button, hitting the subscribe, doing a super chat or a channel membership helps us continue. Hard end today is at 9 p.m. And if I need to leave earlier, I will. But the point being, if you want to see me continue playing the game that I'm playing, then you can do one of these things, and it helps add more time to our clock. We'll be putting 30 minutes on the timer here in a few moments. And then also here is our wheel. During the live stream, every 15 minutes, we spin the wheel. And this wheel gets a chance to add more time to the clock, or we change things up. Now, if we happen to land on change game, you may select a game that we will play. And that's anything from vintage games that you might have seen on my channel before, like Mega Man, things like that. Who knows? You get to pick kind of that stuff. Just look through our previous videos on games I've played, and you get to pick. But that's only if we land on change game and there's someone in the room to select it. Otherwise, we reset the timer and come back to it later. Okay? Really quickly before we start. We're almost done, I promise. Almost all that stuff is out of the way. Big thanks to my Legacy historians, like the amazing Presticle 1137, Sean Hammond, and Tony Allen. Deeply appreciate these guys for supporting my channel. My Vanguard historian, Charles Sutherland, and my Early Access historians, Drawing Illustrations and Art, and John Evans. And, of course, big thanks to Volo, to Zach, to XD, and Esteban, all the amazing folks who support the channel by hopping on here. What's up? Presticle has just popped in the chat. If I pop into our room here where we talk, you'll see his name pop up on here. It's not working. I don't know why it's not working, Presticle. Here, let's do this. By the way, 7 different YouTube channels. And I've just started adding stuff to one of our channels that used to be called Legacy Workshop Studio, now called Dilettante Media. And I'm have an interesting little thing I'll be doing on there that I'll be trying out, more in the shorts category. We'll see how it turns out. Okay, don't forget, I'm not a licensed therapist, just a previous youth pastor, and I love sharing advice. You can learn more about that over on Dilettante Media. Okay, let's go over here really quick and check in on our boy, Presticle 1137. You can see him there in the chat as soon as it just disappeared right there. But yeah, hop in the chat room. We're resetting our timer. 15 minutes is now on the clock for our wheel timer. And then let's go ahead and kick off things with 30 minutes on the timer now for our game timer. If you want to see more, hit that like button and get in here. So we're going to have a lot of fun here as we kick things off. 30 minutes on the clock. It is time for a little flight simulator. All right. Let's start our game, shall we? I hope you're all doing well. Update me. How are things going? All right, we got a like. So that like means an extra 5 minutes on the clock. As you can see, it's now updated to 34 minutes and 30 seconds. Thank you so much. That is how we do things here, and I deeply appreciate that. That helps with the algorithm, helps keep things lively, and lets the world know that we belong here. Yeah, we does. All right. Let's see what we're going to do today. We've been doing night hops, and oh, wait a minute. New specializations available. Cargo transport. I'm interested. Where is this going to take us? Oh, my land. Really? No, I want to see what that is. Halfway across the globe. Thanks for stopping in, Presticle. Always love you, bro. You be good. All right, Presticle had to take off. That's okay. He gave us an extra 5 minutes. It's what he does. He knows the drill. He knows how to play the game. I appreciate my boy. All right, here we go. What is this? Cessna 172 Skyhawk. What is it with the Cessnas? But it is a cargo, so I'm interested. What time are we flying? Oh, 8:48 a.m. to 9:13. At least we'll have some sun. We're assisting a logistics firm that handles fragile bulk goods, and their fleet is grounded. So we're transporting their cargo for them to Ambadifotara. Ambadifotara. Boy, that's quite a name. I don't even know where I'm flying. Once this mission loads up, we'll get in the air here. While we're waiting, let's take a look at our flight planner. Get an idea. RW11, ICLB to short, straight, out to our area. And where's our runway pointing? Okay, looks like FMAD will be our landing point coming in RW25, so runway 25. Okay, beautiful. This should be fun. So, looks like our mission's ready to go. We're ready to go. Let's get in and get going. All right, my friends. We're going to have a good day today. It's going to be a good one. Oh, hey, at least we get a good looking... I was about to say it's good looking, but actually I hate the color schemes. All right, Billy Lenore is our local coordinator for ProGS services. All right, $3,800 is what we got on the line today, and we better fly smooth, because if we don't, that fragile goods is going to go wrong. Very curious if it affects the weight of our plane, depending on how much we're carrying. I like that that's a possibility. All right. Well, this morning I did do our Bible study. That went really well over on Humboldt Vanguard, but I did a little differently. I recorded it on my phone with a wireless microphone. Whoops. A really nice wireless microphone, actually. It did very, very well. I was very impressed. And I'm going to take that with me on the road so we can keep doing our Bible studies while we're on the road. So I'm looking forward to that. And, yeah, should make for an interesting trip. We're going to be away a couple days. All right. Here's our plane. Very cool. Protestgia. International Logistics. All right. Let's go ahead and get our covers off. I mean, usually everything seems to be working just fine where we really don't need to do all this in the game form. But if we're doing this legally, properly, logistically, in real life, yeah, you're going to examine the aircraft. You're going to make sure everything's good. And as you can see, everything looks pretty new on this plane. So I will just be racing through this really quick, at least to do it right. But it's things like this that make our chat room get really quiet and get really bored really fast. So I'm just going to race through this pretty quick here so we can get in the air. Don't need to waste too much time. And thankfully, outdoor checks of the airplane go by fairly quickly. So it will be fun. 5R, Romeo, Victor, Lima, Kilo. That's our tail sign. 5R, 5 Romeo, Victor, Lima, Kilo. Kind of trying to remind myself of that because I don't remember the aeronautical alphabet as well as I should. Okay. There we go. All right, and then finally checking the oil in the plane. I've gotten really tired of flying the 172, frankly, because it's a perfectly fine plane, but I've flown it so much. I'm a little tired of flying it, but we're going to make this work. Wow, boxes are loaded. Look at this. Wow, we are taking a lot. I wonder how heavy this is. Okay, well, let's go ahead and start things up. I like starting it up myself. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing airborne here. So we'll add just a little bit of mixture, full mix, and a little bit of gas into the system. And just going to crank her up. Beautiful. Thank you very much for the safe travels. We will be taking off here momentarily. I just pulled up my autopilot settings on my Stream Deck so I can control heading, I can control navigation, my altimeter, and also my autopilot all from here, which is very helpful. Built for the Cessna, so that will work very quickly in my favor. So we got everything pretty much going here. I do like to make sure to have some of the lights on as we do our thing, just so we're staying above board on everything here. And thankfully, taking off in the morning should be a really easy flight. And so let's go ahead and announce our taxi.
Foxtrot Mike November, Charlie traffic. Cessna 5 Romeo Victor Lima Kilo is taxiing to runway 11. Foxtrot Mike November, Charlie.
Looks like we don't have to wait for anything, not an active airport. So I have been using, unfortunately, the blue gates, which are highly unrealistic, and that does annoy me. So I do use it, though, definitely when it comes to figuring out where I'm supposed to go in the airport, because I don't have enough details on that to know where the mission itself expects me to go. Okay, so now we can hold and announce takeoff.
Foxtrot Mike November, Charlie traffic. Cessna 5 Romeo Victor Lima Kilo. Taking off runway 11. Departure to the south. Foxtrot Mike November, Charlie.
Okay. Looking around to see where our arrows are. I don't see any, so I'm assuming that we're taking off from here. And enter runway 11. So looks like we need to take off by going down the runway to the right to depart out towards the left. So that is what I'm going to do. No proof of that, though, except that it says 11 down there, so that's a good sign. So we'll go down here and hang a Louie and take off. Usually there would be directional arrows letting us know, and there isn't in this case, so I'm glad I made the right executive decision. Alrighty. Okay, be very careful because our luggage is protected. All right, flaps 10 degrees. We are ready for takeoff. Here we go for the initial climb. Going to add some trim right now as we take off. Speed is alive as we get up to about 55 knots and should rotate up. What's up, Bears Country? The one and only Keenan. I was talking to my wife about you, and she's like, "Oh, Keenan, I remember him." I'm like, "You remember Keenan?" So, very cool. Thanks, Keenan. Appreciate it. All right. We get the like button. You know what that means. We got to add 5 minutes to our clock. Here we go. 5 minutes is on the clock now. Thank you very much, Keenan. Appreciate that. All right. We are climbing. Climb to 500 feet. And there's our gates. Now, I personally would prefer Keegan, not Keenan. Keegan. I also know a guy named Kieran, and so I get that confused very quick, too. Keegan. I said Keegan to her. Keenan was the mistake I made just now. I totally said Keegan. You can call me on it again later. It's fine. All right, let's do our altimeter, and we're going to set that to 1,800 feet. That's alive, and we're going to go ahead and turn on our autopilot with navigation, and that should start turning us into the field. And once again, not really getting what I need out of this thing, so we're going to turn on our vertical speed mode, which will hopefully... Oh, let me get flaps up here. That way I don't get docked for that. All right. Bring our throttle back just a touch because we are getting a high bit there. There we go. Let's set this up to 800 feet. There we go. Start our climb to 1,800. Drop that back down to 1,800. Perfect. Now we're in the ballpark. Hope you're having a good day, Keegan. All right. We are lining up now for our airport, which is only 34 nautical miles away. Not too bad. Can't complain about that. Luggage all looks fine. Hope it's not anything facetious. You know, something that, you know, about that. Alrighty. All right, I'm going to head back to lifting. Good luck. Hope you're having a great day, and thank you. Wasn't too bad. Just got off of work a little bit ago. Awesome. Good. I was wondering if you had work today. Glad to hear it. Hey, it's money in the pocket. Yeah, good luck. Oh, you weightlifting? Yeah, you working out? I worked out my forearms. You're like, how did you work out your forearms? I have a rice bucket right here behind me, and anytime I sit down at the computer, I have to set my timer for 5 minutes for each arm, and I get in there and I do that. It's my PT, my physical therapy for my forearms. Because I got messed up forearms. Because I lift, and it messed me up. So don't lift the wrong way, okay? You've been warned. Don't lift the wrong way. It messes up your shoulders. How did I become an old man a little too early? All right, heading bug is in place now. And that's how we're going to fly the rest of this trip, because sometimes navigation doesn't play quite nice with me. So we're going to roll out with this. Take it easy. Talk to you again soon. Yes, sir. Got to get all swole. Yeah, you got to feel that burn, baby. You got to feel that burn. Got to get the nothing better than a proper pump. Especially when you see Sam Sulik, whatever his name is, kicking butt. Everyone putting him down for not posing right, but he did fantastic, in my opinion. He is Arnold Schwarzenegger Jr. You know he is. That guy absolutely... I mean, yes, there's everyone else out there and tons of good guys, but Sam Sulik, it totally looks like he could be an Arnie Jr. all day long. All day. I look at way too much social media. That's how it goes. All right. Anyway. Well, deeply appreciate everyone who's hanging out. Like I said, as always, and I do repeat myself because, yes, we need your help. You help us tell the algorithm that more people need to be in here by playing the live stream game with us. And you play the live stream game by doing one of the following. And I got to figure out where my timer thing is here. Here it is. Boop. Hit that like button, subscribe, do a super chat, or a channel membership. The bottom two are paid and deeply appreciated, but not expected. That helps us add more time to our clock. Thank you. I see we got the like. All right. We are adding that to the timer as of right now. There we go. 30 minutes on the clock. Thank you so much. Deeply appreciate you. Alrighty. Let's get this header bug playing a little bit nicer with us here as I hop back over on my little So glad I got this thing. I want the bigger Stream Deck, and if you don't know what a Stream Deck is, it's basically a keyboard with little screens in each key. It's fantastic because you can program it to do basically whatever you want on your computer. It's incredibly useful for streamers. But they got an XL version, and now they got an XL version with knobs on it. And I'm like, that's making Daddy's mouth water just a little bit. But they cost a fortune. Like this little thing, which is a mini keyboard. I'll try to hold it up to the camera. This little thing right here is like $120. I mean, it's fantastic. Don't get me wrong, and it's built like a brick. And this is the first generation. I think they've had like 2 new generations since it. But yeah, you pay a lot of money for the capability. When all it is basically, you know how you have keystrokes and keyboards, you know, full-size keyboards, and each you hit a key and you can program these keys to do different things. You can totally, it's a Stream Deck in a keyboard form, but Stream Deck just takes it the extra mile, and I would kill for a sponsorship with them because I can't afford their stuff, but I'd love it. Well, how you doing, my brothers? Hey, it's wheel time. I see it's wheel time. So now we hop over here to the hero chat, as I like to call it, and let's spin the wheel. And we land on change plan. We don't really have a plan change in this situation, so we're going to continue on with exactly as we are. If it doesn't count, then we keep moving forward. Let's go ahead and reset our clock for another 15 minutes. Hop back into the game. And basically, if we land on extra time, we add extra time. If we land on change game, you can literally select a different game, and we will end the live stream, start a new live stream on the game that you want played, and then we continue the live stream there, resetting the clock to 30 minutes. So unless we have over 30 minutes, then maybe I would add that time into the other live stream. But the premise is there. All right. 23 nautical miles out. I'm wondering if we can get a little extra speed out of this little girl. It looks like our flow can come back and we can save a little bit of gas. So I'm just going to pull this back a touch, bring it into the green. There we go. So our speed's doing good, though. I mean, we're doing 120, 119 knots. There's nothing to laugh at there. So we're full blast, and our engine RPM isn't exactly in the green, so I will back that down just a touch, just to get it back to that 2,500. Beautiful. All right, and then let me just tick over our heading bug. Just making, this little thing is called a heading bug. This little blue thing right here, when I move it on my keypad, it moves the entire airplane. That is GPS system that is following through. And yes, we could hit our navigation system and this would start following this glide path, but it would be following the one that is showing here. Way over here. That you might not be able to see because of the screen. We need to follow this one because we get docked by the system if we don't stay within the flight path, you know, the flight path that they set. So, of course, I want to stay in the right flight path and do it the right way. So, we're at 109. We're a little slower I would prefer to be. So let me see if adding just a touch more with our flow helps out. Looks like it jumped us up a tiny bit. We'll see if we get a little speed back. All right. Recorrecting to be within our... I would prefer not to have these. I mean, like, I can turn them off. But they're a necessity if you want to get the extra points for the career mode. When navigation does choose to play well with me, then usually I'll turn them off. But in this case, I'm keeping them on. Plus, this is also the first time we've done more than a ferry. This is the first time we've actually done delivery. You know, it's not delivery, it's DiGiorno. They obviously bought Papa John's, because DiGiorno certainly wouldn't be in here. Maybe that's what we're doing. Maybe we're delivering Papa John's supplies. Maybe that's what's going on. Oh, we got a caution. We got a low fuel, so let's go ahead and change our switcher to both. So now it will pull from both tanks and not just one. Let's also take a look at our fuel consumption right here. I mean, it's only a 30-minute flight, but yeah, we kind of went through that left tank pretty quick. We should be much better off now, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off that caution. That low flight will stay up, low fuel will stay up, but not a big deal. All right, 16 nautical miles out. Thank you for all the likes, everybody. Appreciate it. I'm hoping the internet connection is looking a little better these days. We have upped the ante on our internet over here. We just upgraded to fiber. We now have a gigabyte up and gigabit up and a gigabit down, which is insane. And I've also wired this computer in to be wired. It's not wireless. So we've been doing some pretty crazy upgrades to the internet and actually got a discount on it, which is even more exciting to me. So hopefully saving some money while getting a little bit better internet. Great for my personal business. Considering being a content creator and everything that I do, I need to be able to upload and download very, very quickly, and it works pretty well. So hopefully that means a nice, clean live stream for you guys if you like it. A like button would be great. Would definitely appreciate that. Let me know, and also leave a comment. Let me know that it looks good. And, of course, that helps with the algorithm and gives us more time on the clock. All right, airport's up ahead, 13 nautical miles out. We're not that far away. So we will be looking at landing here in a little bit at Ambadiatafa. Ambadiatafa. Wonder how you would actually say that. I don't know where that is. I don't even know what country I'm in. I don't even know. I just know I'm going to Ambadiatafa. All right. 12 nautical miles out. Let's begin looking at our kneeboard. Now, I can pull it up here, and one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and take it off screen entirely. So you won't see it, but it'll be on my secondary screen. That way I can see the approach as I come in. It helps me out quite a bit. So that way I can focus. I mean, with this, I can actually see the vector that they want me to fly as well. So technically, I can turn this off and I can fly in roughly, as long as I follow all my charts and commands that I have here, I can roughly stay on top of what they would expect of me. So let me just get this set up here so I can see what I'm doing. And scroll down here so I can see my points of... I see lights up there. So, yeah, we're definitely coming up on it. So, we're going to begin our final approach here in just a minute. We will be... We're at 1800. We're supposed to be, once we get to TRD-P1, which is the first vector that we're going to be coming in on, we're supposed to be at 1,512 feet. So I'm going to go ahead and begin that process of dropping us down to 1,500 feet. Let's go ahead and bring the nose down, turn on our vertical speed indicator, and we'll begin our process of making our way down to 1,500 feet. That way we're within the ballpark. By the time we get towards our fourth leg of our arrival following the approach in, we will be at 1,000 feet, and on final we'll be at 500 feet, with runway 25 being our final approach at FMAD. That is the airport that we're coming in on today. And you can look here now. I'm lining up very closely with the original vectors that were set up, where if I hit my navigation now, it would line me up with this, which is great, but not what we will do in this situation. We're doing really good, though, man. We're doing really, really good. All right. Pretty sure we're looking at the runway right here. I might just be guessing, but I felt like I saw like a red and white light there for the runway. All right. Slight bit of hurry up and wait. Let's try something. I'm just going to press my nav button. And let's see if it lines us up in our system here, because I think it will. Yep. All right, we're coming up on screen now in my knee board. Kind of like having an iPad in an airplane. That's basically what it's supposed to represent. All right, looks like we're going to be announcing our contact arrival airport, announce position on radio. So I've hit enter. We should hear that in just a second.
Foxtrot Mike Alpha Delta traffic. Cessna 5 Romeo Victor Lima Kilo. 5 miles north, 1500 inbound to land, runway 25, Foxtrot Mike Alpha Delta.
All righty. Well, I don't see that airport. I'm assuming maybe here or here. That's roughly where I think we're looking at this point. And, of course, when it comes to this, we're basically going to fly directly over top the airport and then begin getting into the pattern. So we should begin to see some things here. Actually, I take it back. I think our runway is about to be over our nose where we can't see it. I think this is it right here. Because it's long, and I'm pretty sure that we go around and come in this way. So I think that's our airport. All right. So we're at 1,500 feet as we come into TRDP1. I am going to go ahead and remove autopilot. And fly hands the rest of the way in. This will assist me with having a little bit of time to begin worrying about things like getting our speed a little closer to where we need to be. All right. So the goal here now is to get under 80 knots. Once we get under 80 knots, then we'll be able to put our flaps down. According to my map, we should be flying right over the airport right about now. I can't see it. I know you guys can't see it. Looking around here just to see if there's anything there. No visual. Ah, that might be the end of it right there. This could be an interesting grass landing. That would be my assumption. Okay. All right, bringing a little up trim here as we throw down our speed just a little bit more. All right, now we're going to go ahead and do our second turn, which is going to take us into the third position. Third leg. As we circle around here. Flaps 10 degrees. That'll help get the nose up and get our speed down just a tiny bit more. Remember that we can rotate to take off at 55 knots. So as long as we're roughly above 55 knots, we should be able to stay airborne. All right, we're going to start slowing down here. Tiny bit more. Bring my nose up a bit more with my trim. That way I'm not fighting with my plane. So I'm thinking the runway is this dry spot over here. We're a little lower than I would prefer to be right now. Now we head towards the fourth waypoint of our landing. And then we're going to turn a little bit to the right, and we're going to be ready for our base. Base is the turn before the final. And then we'll do final, and final will bring us in. Once I finish this leg of the turn, TRD P4, which is happening right now, this is going to line us up parallel with the runway. So if we could see the runway through the trees, technically, once I have this alignment done, which is happening right about now, technically we should be in a parallel with the runway out of our right window. That is definitely, that patch over there is where we will be landing. I don't see a thing over there, so that is 100% going to be a grass landing here. Okay, now we're going to begin our turn to base. Here in a half a second. I want to go a little bit further. The further out we go, the easier it's going to be to land this puppy. And considering we have so much on board, I'm okay with that. Right now we're reading at 65 knots, so we have a reasonable speed. So now we're going to begin our turn to final. And then our final turn is what gets us into the runway. So definitely want to make sure that we're fairly on target to where that VOR is showing on my knee board. So I'm going to level out here. Keeping a close eye on my speed as well. We're at 61 knots, so we're getting a little slower than I would prefer, even though we're probably right in the money. Okay, beginning our final approach now. So this is our final turn. Once we finish this turn, we should be looking right at the runway. And we should then be able to line up and bring ourselves in. Adding an extra 10 degrees of flaps, this is going to begin to cut into the air and give us a little bit more. It's going to make us slow down. It's also going to make us kind of float a little bit. And right there is our runway. You're like, where? I agree. So I think it's that patch up there that we can barely see over the nose right now. That is where we're going to shoot for. So I'm going to go ahead and announce our full stop landing. Music comes on, which means I guess we're in the money. There we go, announcing.
Mike Alpha Delta traffic. Cessna 5 Romeo Victor Lima Kilo is on final. Runway 25 to land. Foxtrot Mike Alpha Delta.
Okay. Cutting my throttle pretty much. That way we start floating down. Going full flaps. All right, now we're going to start falling out of the sky. We are at 55 knots. And the goal is to fall as gracefully as we can. All right, we're dead sticked. That means I have no throttle. All right, we're falling out of the sky. I'm going to throttle up a little bit. This is called a flare. As we try to land on the back two casters and drop down on the front. Now, that might have been a little bit of a harder landing. Wheel out of the runway. That doesn't make any sense because there is no runway. So I hate that because technically I don't see anything to prove that point. But whatever. And also, where do you exit the runway? So there are some pretty big flaws with their system on how this works. But I'm going to go ahead and pop over here, and we're going to consider this getting off the runway. All right, we're going to stop the aircraft here. And we're going to go ahead and set our parking brakes and shut down our engine, and that is the end of our mission. Beautifully done. It's time for a wheel time. So let's get through and see what our final score was, and then we will do our wheel time. Ensure cargo integrity 90%, airline procedures 100%, respect condition of the aircraft 56%. They claim that I didn't do as well because my runway excursion on landing was 70 and flaps exceeded at max speed. That one I understand, but we did do an A job, so that is good. In my opinion, that was a perfect flight for us. 3,530 from Villy-Legnaud. And let's go ahead here really quick as we do this. We're almost to our B rating on the reputation update, which is great. Let's go ahead and do our wheel spin. Change game. There is no one here to suggest a change game, so we will be sticking with this game and continuing on until our timer runs out. So let's get back to our game here as we have 7 minutes left on our clock, so we will look for another short flight. We are now level 20. That's very exciting. All right. So let's go back to our flights here and choose another flight that will be a short leg flight. Let's see. New difficulty available. Your level now allows you to access a new difficulty level for all job types. I actually would like some more difficulty. I think that would make it more fun for me personally. Let's see what's going on stateside. Looks like we have some delivery options here. Hour and 30 minutes. Not interested. What? Plane, though. De Havilland. DHC-2. $11,000. I mean, that would be a lot of fun, but it would be an hour and a half flight. And once our timer runs out, we don't have any more time, unfortunately. But hour and a half, hour and a half, hour and a half. They're all hour and a half flights, hour and a half. Technically, these are the flights I do want where you can kind of set it and forget it. And just kind of let the simulator do its own thing. Whoa, I didn't mean to select that. Yeah, 45-minute flights, so technically we don't have time for that. So let's go back out of here. See what other options we have. Maybe we'll just do a quick little tour, but it would be nice to do it in a plane that I would actually enjoy flying in. Let's see. A Robin DR-400. I haven't flown this plane yet. We're going to try this one. Robin DR-400, I thought that was a helicopter, but no. All right, so it's 11:29 to 11:46. It's during the day. That's great. John McGuire had to push back his scenic flight a few days ago. We've got a spot open for today. We'll be guiding him on a nice ride over his hometown in Deer Lodge, in my neck of the woods. Okay, we'll totally do this one. If we don't have any extra takers on our live stream, this will be a fun, easy flight to wrap up our missions. Let's accept it. Cheers to your health. I'm going to reset our wheel time just in case if someone comes on. Definitely haven't flown this aircraft. Jennifer Rubin is our event coordinator, Deer Lodge Flying Club. Not a lot of money involved, but enough to do the job, and it'll be a short flight anyway. But we will make the most of this experience. We'll do a full checkup of the plane as we get in, as well as figuring out how to start it ourselves, which may take some extra time. And we will not end the live stream until the mission is done, so this works in our favor as well. Okay, let's go ahead and get things figured out here. I have never flown this plane, so let's go ahead and check. She looks a little older. She looks just a little older. Excuse me. Still, condition looks as good as new, according to this, even though I would say she could use a little paint job. Definitely a repaint. I personally, well, I would take any plane given to me, or given to me at the right price. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't mind a slightly different color if I had my own plane. Saying it gently and mildly. All right. Okay, that's all checked out over here. Okay, and here. Interesting how the ailerons are on the outer wings like that, and that they're canted like that, which certainly will help the plane hang a little better. Trying to get to this wheel and strut. Okay. Thought I already checked that one, but apparently I didn't. And once again, still can't quite get to this wheel down here and the strut down there to check it out. So not entirely sure how we could do that. Pressing a couple buttons to see if there's any way to drop the camera a little. Oh, wait a minute. Yep, we can hit C to drop down. Perfect. That will let me look at that tire, hopefully. I guess C would be to crouch. That would make some sense. So it says flap. Trying to get this one. There we go. No, that's not it either. Come on now. Yeah, so I can't get any lower to check the wheel itself. Not very helpful when I would like to get a full check ride done, but we'll do this without. And hope that those back tires aren't bad. Okay, we're going to open up our door and climb on into the cockpit. Looks like an older cockpit. I do not see any screens, so no GPS. Let's go ahead and begin the boot up process. And hopefully I can find my way around. Okay, ELT, I'm not sure what ELT is. We're just going to hold it. Okay, just put it to armed. Let's turn on the bat and the alternator. Let's see here. We got throttle here and... Oh, it's parking brake. My bad. Let's leave that on. Mixture is pulled back a little bit. Where's our throttle? I assume... Is this our throttle? Oh, flaps lever. Okay. All right, here's our throttle. Give it a little bit of throttle there. I don't see a fuel pump. Oh, some of this is in a different language. It's all in different language. Interesting. Okay, well, let's try and start her. See if this starts or not. Okay. That's not the starter. What's this? If you need to know, then you probably shouldn't be flying. Okay. Radios. Battery alternator. Didn't think so. I'm just checking. Is this it? No. No. This is going well. What's this? Ah, fuel pump. I was looking for a fuel pump. Now we have fuel pressure. It's good. Anti-ice, don't need it. Not in this condition. Where's our starter? Okay. somewhere here is going to be our starter. Do you guys see it? I was assuming that would be it here. Is it up top on our ceiling? Cockpit door handle. But I'm going to go ahead and request boarding because, frankly,
I'm ready.
we need our guy in here anyway. There we go. In the worst case, I know how to start it through their system, but I would prefer to start it myself. So hopefully we're back to where we were. Everything still seems about the same here. So just looking for our starter. Usually it would be this guy. And then usually we just turn it a little extra and that would be our starter, but nothing doing. If not that, then there would be like a starter knob somewhere or something. Of which I have no visual. Manual. What is going on? Certainly not down here. That's all of our fuses. Do you guys see it anywhere? That's the anti-ice. Fuel pump is still on and doing just fine. Parking brake is on. Our flaps. What is this? Volume for crew. Squelch. Knobs where if you have to know, hot air entry, hot air entry. Yes, sir. We'll be taking off in a minute, I'm sure. All right. Well, I hate to start it the old school way by not starting it and having the game start it for us, but that might be the necessity. I'm taking one final look. If I don't find it, then we won't have any choice. Glare shield. That's just all of our lighting. Okay. Volume for crew. Squelch audio. Battery and alternator are on. The magneto is on. Man, you would think that that would be it. And that little button does nothing. That's anti-ice, fuel pump. And whatever this would be is not doing anything. Decollage. I should know what that is. Decollage. Is that our trim? That's our trim. All right, I'm not seeing a starter. So, unfortunately,
Feels like the perfect day for stroll, isn't
no idea.
Hey, Captain, meet John.
I saw that mixture change.
Around Deer Lodge. He's a nice local resident. You to treat him well and show him around. By the way, you'll see. He's a cool guy. Seatbelt fastened. Then you're all set.
Okay,
Captain, you know what to do.
I know what to do. Flaps at 10 degrees. We're going to announce our taxi.
Mike Tango Niner tree traffic. Robin November tree
I hate the word 3 in this game.
is taxiing to runway 26. Mike Tango Niner tree.
All right. Let's go get aligned to our runway.
I'm John. Never had the chance to fly over Deer Lodge before, and I'm thrilled. So I'm counting on you to show me lots of cool stuff around my place.
Now, my hope is that Deer Lodge might be where the local prison is that is like a historical prison. And I'm hoping we'll see that. I'm not sure if I'm in the right place in Montana for that, but I'm hoping I'm right. Okay. Here we go. Take off.
Mike Tango Niner tree traffic.
Ugh.
Robin November tree 4496. Taking
I
off
hate it.
runway 26.
I hate it.
Report to the north. Mike Tango Niner tree.
All right, so I'm assuming that this is our runway here. So we're going to enter runway 26. I'm assuming this is our runway. That doesn't look like a runway. That doesn't look like a runway at all. That looks like a road. But frankly, it kind of lines up with where we're supposed to be. This is interesting. I don't know how to handle this. There is a car coming down this road. And I apparently have stopped my engine because I hit backspace. No idea why that is. Let me look around here to see if there's any arrows. This is the reason why we use the arrows. I have no visual of where our runway is supposed to be. So in this case, let me zoom in on my map. All right. Taxi to start of runway 26. Apparently, that is runway 26 over there? This is ridiculous. I truly don't understand. Unless this is supposed to be runway 26 here, that these cars are driving on. I have no idea. This could be a rather difficult takeoff, but because we're bumping along here pretty solidly. What is this? Is that supposed to be hay bales? No, this is our turnaround point. That's pretty terrible. I mean, this is the problem with making your home base a rural airport, which is what I did. I made a rural airport my home base because I wanted it to be in my community I live in. All right, here we go. Hang on, kiddo. It's about to get real bouncy. Oh, I don't like this. This is not a good runway at all. All right, technically we should be able to lift off. Oh, my word. Landing there is going to be really troublesome. And I have a feeling that right here is supposed to represent probably the prison. I don't know about that, though. Interesting. Okay, well, we'll find out here in a second. We're doing our initial climb. I'm trying to trim it back here. Let's bring our flaps back. There we go. All right, we're climbing to 5,200 feet. And then we fly to Deer Lodge. So, yeah, no, we're definitely a little ways away from Deer Lodge, which means my theory was wrong on where that historic prison would probably be. Still trying to trim this bird up. There we go. Now we're getting a little closer. All right.
We feel really safe. Michael was right. There's no sense of vertigo at all.
As long as they all keep saying the same thing, we're doing just fine. Just fine. All right, my friends. Well, I hope you're having a good flight with me. I hope you're having a good day. I know this plane only sits 2, but I feel like there's 300 with me. 300 Spartans! What is your profession?
We're up high, but it feels almost normal. Almost.
Almost. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and turn here. Yes, I am using the gates because I don't want to get in trouble, and especially when we got to land on that thing that was never a runway. That's going to be a problem. My gosh, that is a bit of a flight to what would be Deer Lodge. So everything I thought was Deer Lodge was definitely not.
I'll see places I love.
Me too. So in my previous history, if I remember correctly, Deer Lodge, if this is the place I'm thinking of, I left my credit card at the prison, and I bought a snake there. It was you know, like a not a stuffed snake, but it was a snake that's able to hold a wine bottle, you know. And I thought it was really cool. And I was like, yeah, I definitely want to take that home, and didn't realize that I had left my credit card there until I had driven an hour away.
The sky is so beautiful.
And so
Doesn't really do it justice.
I had to drive back to get it, and then drove all the way back to where I was. And in the process of doing all that, realized I had never properly linked my trailer up to my car. The ball of the hinge, the trailer was sitting on top of the ball and not linked to it. So it was a really eye-opening experience, because I should have lost our trailer. I should have died and been thrown off a mountain.
Pilot is treating me right. This is an amazing experience.
So it was a really crazy experience. So I'm hoping that this is the Deer Lodge. I think it is. All right, I'm trying to trim it back now just a little bit, because now it's getting ahead of me. And trimming right just a little bit, because it's trying to rotate out on me now.
So much more amazing than I expected.
Looks good. All right, as we come up to here, hopefully we'll start to see some things. I'll let you know if I see anything I can recognize. Truth be told, we will simply just be going in a circle up here as part of this mission before we then turn around and go back and land. It's a short 15-minute flight, so it's the nature of the beast.
I need to show this to the family.
If there is anybody watching, make sure to hit that like button. That will add more time to our live stream, and we'll continue flying. If we do not, once we finish up this mission, then we will be done with our live stream for today. You help show the algorithm that I belong here by hitting that like button and leaving a comment. I deeply appreciate it when you do. All right, still trimming it in. Once again, not really seeing what I'm looking for.
It's so quiet here, so peaceful.
This plane is so fast. We're doing almost 200 knots. I'm going to go ahead and slow back here a little bit, because in a second here, they're going to tell us to begin our pattern around Deer Lodge. And while they're doing that, they're going to expect me to be at a certain speed. So I'm going to go ahead and slow back here.
Nice.
Set altitude to 5,600 feet. We're well above. And speed to 91 knots. So boy, do we have to come way down to meet this need. Oh, apparently we're below 91. So maybe the airspeed is wrong for me. So I'm just going to bring it down enough to get by. So this must be in like kilometers or something versus what I know.
Oh, over there. Everything I see makes a great photo.
All right, I'm going to try and control everything with my rudder. That way when we look out the window here, hopefully I can kind of turn back. I am not seeing any kind of representation of that historical place, so maybe I'm in the wrong place.
Last but not least, thanks for showing me that.
Unless that's supposed to be it, but I thought it was on a main street. Maybe Deer Lodge is where I got off. Huh. I have to do some math on that and see, but if you ever get bored, look up the historical prison in Montana, and it should show you where it is. I thought it was Deer Lodge, but maybe I'm wrong. There it is. Yeah, there it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. Okay. So, right when my wing hits it, I'll point it out to you. Yeah, it's that L building. Yeah, that's it. I've been in those buildings. That's it. Yep, that's the prison. Cool. So right there, my wing's going over it right now. That is the prison. They have concerts there. It's a historical prison. Like it's not a usable prison now. Cool. All right. And then I figured out that I had messed up my chain like right around here somewhere, right on the outskirts of town. Okay. Let's go ahead and connect to arrival and announce arrival position. And we'll begin our entry back. Cool. All right. Nice. That is what I was thinking. That's cool.
Mike Tango Niner tree traffic. Robin November tree 449er 6 miles north, 5600 inbound to land, runway 26. Mike Tango Niner tree.
A little bit of wind going on today. That's why the plane's bouncing around so much. That is definitely not my flying. And then we'll begin our pattern entry into a runway that doesn't make any sense. Well, my friends, thank you so much for hanging out with me today.
Better than I could ever have imagined.
You're welcome. Now, don't interrupt me. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, friends. I hope that you enjoyed the 2 flights in our live stream today. I might continue doing another live stream on a different game, and we'll restart the timer and do it again, which means, you know, if you want to see another game, well, that works out great that the live stream ends, and then we do it again. The more people that we get in here, the longer the play times are, and the more videos we end up making, and it's always fun. So thank you so much for hanging out. I hope you enjoy it, and hope you come back. Get subscribed. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. Leave a comment. Would love your comments, especially on the video after it's done being live. And then, of course, make sure, if you think about it, if you want to, you can do a super chat. It's always very generous. And if not that, then maybe even join channel membership. Get early access to videos if there is any. And if not, then certainly it's just another way to support the channel in a monthly way. Very affordable, $1 or $2 a month. Big help to me. And just shows that you appreciate the effort that's being done here. I do clean content for most ages. I try to do stuff here that's different than anybody else. I try to be your big brother here on the internet where I support you, talk with you, and try to spend time with you. The game is merely the way of having a place where we can talk and have a good time and be serious if we need to, but the gameplay is just here in support. So
So, John, did you enjoy the ride? You ready to do it again?
I'll be doing it again. Sign me up.
alrighty. $3,000. Boy, we're bouncing around a bunch here. Okay. Like I said, I'm going to be traveling here in a couple days, and it's going to be a bit of a treacherous trip. I will be making my way through Glacier National Park, where there will be some pretty heavy snowstorms. I'm actually very anxious about it. This is not my first rodeo of dealing with a really crazy storm and traveling, but it's for my job as a caricature artist. If you want to learn more about that, you can do that on my channel, Legacy Art Studio. And I try to film and document all this stuff. When things get a little crazy, I try to get my camera out and I try to film it, and I try to make a story on it. And I try to share with you guys a little bit of the life of living in Montana, doing what I do for a living. And it's a lot of fun. It's also very frightening at times. And for some people, being frightened means you hide away. When I get frightened, I get out the camera, because if I die, I want it filmed. So I don't know who will edit it after I'm dead, but you know, if I break a leg or something bad happens to me and I end up in a hospital, at least I'll have something to do while I'm sitting in bed waiting to heal. I can edit my video. So in any case, you get the drill. If you want to see that when that video does come out, you can check that out. Not that I'm going to hurt myself, but if you want to see what this trip was like and how it went, you'll be able to see that on Legacy Art Studio. You can even see previous trips I've done. Like I said, I'm going to be going through to Kalispell, and that...
Joel, are we going down?
Yes, we are. You're all right. It's just bumpy day. That's all it is. We're doing just fine. My point being, I have another trip where I went to the same rough area that I will be in a place called Whitefish, and the experience was harrowing. And you can actually see that video. It's already out because it's been out about a year, and we're going back. So it's another very similar experience. So just keep it tuned in, and I'll be sharing that story with you as we get there. All right. Dropping flaps at 10 degrees. You can see all my content in one of two places. You can see it over on Discord. We have a Discord link is in the description below. And that will get you in touch with my community, as well as show you every video I release on every channel I have. If you're curious what Tim Lee is up to, well, all of that is on Discord. And if not there, then you can go to my website, which is legacystudioproductions.net or timleecaricatures.com. And both of those websites go to the same place, just different parts of the website. And you can look at my blog entries where I write full blogs, as well as share the videos and pictures of the experiences that I do. Because it helps with, you know, Google's little spiders and crawling and SEO optimization and things like that. You keep your website updated. That helps you get more business for your business. So that's what I try to do. All right. We should be coming into a final approach here in a few moments. Let's go ahead and add another 10 degrees of flaps. All right, here's our turn on final. Definitely like my planes with GPS systems in them. This is a little too old school for me, not my personal favorite. All right. Announcing final. Apparently that road is supposed to be our landing spot, maybe? I don't know. Or directly next to it.
Robin November Tree 4496 is on final. Runway 26 to land. Mike Tango Niner Tree.
Full flaps. I don't even know where to land. I'm just going to make a guess, like right next to the road. Boy, I'd prefer to land right on the road.
That felt like we were on a roller coaster. Didn't see that coming.
I don't understand where they expect me to land, because look at where they want me to hold short. Like I said, messed up system. And when there's literally cars running down this road.
Mike Tango Niner Tree traffic. Robin November Tree 4496 is taxiing to parking. Mike Tango Niner Tree.
You've given this local a fresh take on his region. He clearly loved the session. It's fantastic for our word-of-mouth marketing.
There we go. All right, that's it. All right, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this one. Landing smoothness 6%. I say bull. I get a B, apparently, for landing where I think is correct. Oh, well. Let's see what it gets me for my reputation. If it drops my reputation back, I'll be a little displeased. Let's find out. Here we go. All right, I can survive that. All right, my friends, thank you so much for watching. I'll look forward to seeing you next time here on Legacy Gaming Studio. Deeply appreciate having you guys here, and it's always a ton of fun to hang out with you guys. Yeah, I'll look forward to seeing you again soon. So until next time, keep it crispy, first and 412. Love you all. Bye.